what's missing. We on a mission, stop corruption, your decision. Whole squad got AK-47s, keep the Secret Service. First Lady Janice, get the cameras, ain't that picture perfect? No Photoshop, the finest scotch around the Oval Office. First call to action, fuck them banks that's robbing y'all for profits. Ain't you sick of politicians always switching topics? Do anything to get ahead, nobody there to stop it. Mac always been a target, I ain't talking where you shopping. Been through it all, y'all taking shots at a dead man walking. McAfee, that's common sense. Crypto is the precedence. If this is the present, why we run by dead presidents? Tell me why there's veterans living with no residence. When they ask for change, we turn our cheek like kids in medicine. Compare who we are better than. Politics or pendulum. Swinging back and forth, it's hypnotizing. We just stare at them. We need someone in office that don't care about the caucus and would rather cock a shotgun just to fight for people's progress. McAfee for POTUS.
Boom! Greetings to those bereft of souls. I will be Patrick Smith if it pleases the crowd. I think you know who our special guest is today on the show. Welcome, Mr. John McAfee. How are you, sir?
I'm great, thank you. That was a great introductory song. I'd forgotten about those boys.
When I did my Not Governor campaign, I think what I did wrong was not having a badass campaign song, so I'll have to do that next time. So, for those that somehow don't know, John McAfee is the creator of the world's first commercial antivirus software, cryptocurrency aficionado, InfoSec iconoclast, fugitive from the Internal Extortion Service, pot stirrer, pot smoker, purveyor of advice for men in his firebrand Twitter account, giver of precisely 0 fucks, and now candidate for president of the monstrosity that is the United States government. Welcome again, Mr. John McAfee. It's great to have you. I've been trying to get you on for a while. I hope that introduction was worthy of your time here today.
Whoa, I mean, I think that was the best ever, I'll be frank with you. So, thank you.
So, I mean, your Twitter is one of the most entertaining ones to watch by far, but we only have a little time with you today. So I just wanted to maybe, if you could, you spent some time exposing the guy that claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. I just wanted to maybe get your version or your story of those events really quickly, of how that went down.
But listen, he's sued me. I'm legally bound not to say anything. I wish that I could.
Totally understand. Say no more.
If you know anything about lawsuits, you're very restricted about what you can say about them. All right, my apologies.
No, totally fine. And so the next, I guess, rumor, I don't know if it's a rumor or not, that's why we're talking to you. Are you on the run from the feds, the IRS, the U.S. government in some way? Like, what is your current status? Are you a heroic fugitive?
I don't know how heroic I am. I'm certainly fugitive. So is my wife, Janice. I'll give you just a little brief background of our recent history in the past year. And on the 22nd of January, the IRS convened a grand jury through the Justice Department, of course, the prosecutor in Tennessee, to charge Janice and I, and then 3 of my cryptocurrency compatriots with unspecified crimes against the government. The IRS specifically, and those are all felony charges. You don't convene grand juries for failure to file tax returns, which is a misdemeanor at best. Because if you don't file a return, the IRS has a recourse. They can come and assess your property and take it, right? And then you got to get it back to the courts. But not filing itself is not a crime. Filing and lying about it, now that's fraud, tax fraud, and that is indeed a crime. I have not done that because I haven't fucking filed taxes in 10 years. So, and for 8 of those years, the IRS didn't really give a flying fuck. But in any case, I heard about it in advance because, well, I am a security expert, and anything that happens on the web with my name, if any of the people in the organization Anonymous see my name somewhere in the context of grand jury, well, I'm going to find out about it. So I found out about it from multiple sources, got copies of the subpoenas, and we left the country on the 17th of January, 3 days before the grand jury convened. Because they would have done the same thing to me. They do to everybody. The day after the grand jury convenes, the FBI SWAT team comes and collects our sorry ass. I wasn't willing to let that happen. So Janice and I left on the 17th with our staff, on our dogs, on our yacht, and went to the Bahamas, where there is no income tax. And therefore I cannot be extradited for a crime which is not a crime in the country that you're trying to extradite me from. That's international law, protecting, I don't know, like Muslim wives from being extradited because they didn't wear a burqa, right? Mm-hmm. Not against the law in America for a woman not to wear a burqa, therefore we're not going to extradite her. In any case, 3 months into that, I heard through a friend in the CIA that the CIA was arranging an illegal pickup up of me, but sort of in a legal/illegal way. They were planning to have Paul Roll, the commissioner of police, arrest me in the Bahamas on a local crime. Who knows what it was? Drug dealing, it makes no fucking difference. Nothing would have happened. I've just gone to jail, and then as an undesirable, been kicked out. And where would I go? Back to America. So we left the day that the SWAT team came. The SWAT team came that night. We left hours before. We were gone when they came. Before I left, I outed Paul Roll, the commissioner of police, because, listen, when I heard that he was trying to illegally collect me, although I found all the dirt on him, called the Bahamian newspapers in Nassau and gave them his bank account numbers, his secret bank account numbers, his deposits, his withdrawals, and his deposits accounted for 20 times his annual salary over the 2-year period, and withdrawals all in cash, $5,000 a week, sometimes $10,000 to Bahamian dollars in cash from a bank account that was set up without his name on it, and left. So we went to Cuba. While we were going to Cuba, the headlines in the Bahamian newspapers in Nassau were Paul Roll sues John McAfee for defamation of character. Anyway,
All right. Well,
but hang on. I'm sorry. Let me just finish this. I'll make it real quick. Okay. Sure. So went to Cuba. We were there a month and a half. The Cuban government calls Janice and I in, says America has unofficially requested that we return you to America. We're disinclined to do so. We got 72 hours to leave the country. We left the fucking country, went to the Dominican Republic, 4 days at sea, and we were arrested in the Dominican Republic by the Internal Security Force, a branch of the Army. Refused to talk to customs or immigration. We never even entered the country legally because we never went to customs. They charged us as failing to declare our weapons. We couldn't declare them. They didn't let us talk to customs. And we were in jail for 4 days. Managed to get us out of that. And they also, on the fourth day, they let us out and said, we're returning you to America. I go, well, it didn't come from America. You can't return me to America legally. They said, well, that's where you've got to go. My lawyers managed to get us out of that, went to England. Then we went underground. We haven't told anybody where we've been since the 14th of July, which is the day I think that we got out of jail in the Dominican Republic. So yes, the IRS is after my ass to the point that they have strong-armed the Bahamas, requested something from Cuba, which is rare from America, and set something up in the Dominican Republic, which was so fucking illegal and involved their internal security to get me back to America. Why? Because I speak out on shows just like yours about the fucking truth of our government and what it has done to me over the past 10 years.
It's done enough evil that I no longer call it my government. I'm not part of that we. That is not any organization I ever consent to, which brings us, I think, to your presidential campaign. I would like to dive in and see where you stand on this stuff, challenge your, give you the libertarian shit test, as it were. So if you could give us the why you're running for president, why, what do you consider yourself, libertarian, anarchist? Where do you sit?
Well, first of all, I don't consider myself any kind of label. The Libertarian Party is a very convenient platform. I ran under the Libertarian banner in 2016. I'm running under the Libertarian banner in 2020. Libertarians are the closest things to how I live my life. I have no clue what I fucking believe. I really don't. I just know how I act. And I have acted my entire life in a libertarian manner, fighting anyone who tries to remove my freedoms, not fucking with other people as much as I can possibly do without you barring my door and I'm trying to escape. When my house is on fire, maybe I'll push your ass down to get out. I don't know. But I have no rules. I just have a heart and 74 years of fucking experience. And I'll be frank, right up front, I don't want to be president, and I can't be president. Anybody out there listening who thinks John McAfee could ever be president, move the fuck out of your mother's house, because it can't happen, people. It can't happen. No, it can't happen for any libertarian. Not this year, and maybe not ever, until we fix the system itself. Listen, it doesn't matter who sits in the Oval Office. If you actually think it does, then you never actually watched what happens when a shift of power occurs in Washington. Did a single hair on your head get wafted? Fuck no, it doesn't matter who sits there, because they're driving a system that's broken. It's like an automobile with a steering wheel that's frozen. Did you think I give a shit who sits in that car driving? No one should. This is a play, people. This is a charade put on by those who really control America. The lifelong, permanent employees of the U.S. government, those who cannot be fired and who have no political fucking affiliation, allegedly. Who are those people? Well, we've got quite a few. The U.S. military is certainly one. The NSA, military covert intelligence, Secret Service. But the one that I am most familiar with, and the one that has fucked with me the most, is the CIA. Now, you think, well, they're just part of the executive branch. Oh, bullshit. They are lifelong employees. Do you know what the CIA calls it? People in the CIA call presidents transients.
What? Really?
Transients. Yes. Transients, people, and congressmen. And really, think about it just for a second. You've got presidents who are political animals. They are brilliant at manipulating people and sowing ideas and have the charisma to get your fucking votes. But are these the people you want running the country? Well, I'm not sure. Certainly not for the past 50 fucking years. Dwight Eisenhower was the last real president we had. And when he left office, he warned us, people, beware the CIA and the military industrial complex, because they will steal your freedoms. And they have.
They have. They absolutely have. Yeah.
65. Now, how does the CIA do it? People go, oh, yeah, that's all conspiracy theory. Oh, bullshit. People, let's take an example. There are thousands. How about the Second Gulf War? It was in the CIA's interest for Iraq not to have power in that region. And it got power. So they sat down and said, what do we do? Well, we can assassinate, Saddam. And someone wisely goes, yeah, there's someone else to replace him. It'll be worse. So they go, okay, we'll just have to bomb them into oblivion. Sam, Fred, you guys know the president. Make that happen. Go to the president, Sam and Fred. They've got a directive. How are we going to make this happen? I think we're going to have to lie this time. So, Mr. President, I hate to tell you, but Iraq has nuclear weapons. and ballistic missiles capable of delivering them to our closest ally, England. Now, sir, I'm glad it's not my decision. Well, of course, what happened? They bombed Iraq into oblivion. The whole world knew there were no nuclear weapons. The people knew it. The only people who did not know it were the president and our Congress. The world laughed in a tragic fucking way at what we were doing because they knew our government had been twisted by the CIA for the CIA's purposes. And you don't even have to lie. You just selectively tell truth, people. This is what has happened in America. Presidents are no longer fucking capable because why? We're not electing people who can do the goddamn job. We're electing people who will promise us what we want, whatever that may be. And if we all want free pussy, then that's what we will elect. The president promising free fucking pussy. Oh, God, wake up, people.
So I props for being the most realistic libertarian presidential candidate that I've seen yet by actually understanding the reality of the situation that they're not getting elected. And but so what's your plan? What's your purpose then? What are you doing with this race?
First of all, on racing, I don't have any contestants. I have no competitors. I'm not running against anybody. I mean, if you randomly pick a person, I swear to put 100% of my support behind them because it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is I stay out of jail long enough to tell the world from the national stage of the presidential campaign what I think is actually fucking happening. And if you out there in the world think I'm nuts, so be it. But maybe some of you go, whoa, I never looked behind the curtain that way before. And if only one of you does, God damn it, I have succeeded. And that's my only goal. I don't have a platform. How can I know what to do about anything? How can any of us? First of all, we don't have the truth about any issue of national importance. Nothing. The truth comes from the information the government holds and who disseminates that and to whom. Using the most marvelous of all tools called need to know. President's going to sit down and go, hey, well, I've been wondering a long time, do we have aliens? If we do, we're going to tell the goddamn president? Fuck no. Last person in the world who would know. So what happens? I'm sorry, Mr. President, but you don't have a need to know on that issue. If the need does arise, and we will know in advance, we promise you, we'll give you the answer.
You think they do that to the president? That's how it works? Oh no! I killed McAfee. Oh no!
You almost did, dude. Please, go. These are career people who spent their lives. And listen, I don't think the CIA is some evil organization trying to take over the world, although they are in fact trying to take over the world. But evil, no. I think they're the most patriotic of all Americans. In their minds and hearts, they probably believe that they're doing the right fucking thing.
Sure.
I mean, seriously, yeah. I mean, look at the presidents who have come into that office, and if you're a 60-year-old career CIA guy who started at 21 and has spent a lifetime serving and sacrificing for this country, and you know all the nuances of the world. To speak 6 languages, the president barely speaks English. You know the cultures and religion and history and political alliances of every goddamn nation on the earth, and the president can't even name all the fucking nations. Of course they're transients. Of course, if you have the power that the CIA has, you're not going to tell that motherfucker anything of value other than information to motivate that president to do exactly as you wish. That is the string that the puppet masters attach to presidents, the string of information. and the selective flow of information to those elements of our government that guarantee the result that the CIA wants. People, they were my first fucking client, and factions of the CIA have been trying to collect me for a fucking year. Thank God I still have some friends in that organization. And if anybody knows the CIA that's not in it, it's me. You get chased by these motherfuckers around, and you're going to learn some shit.
So it sounds like you think the system can be repaired. I'm fascinated to find out how you think that would ever be possible. Because, I mean, first of all, I will tell you it's an invalid system because it is not based on individual consent of the people living here. It's based on fiat.
You're right.
So how do you fix that? You can't.
I don't plan to. Listen, systems of government never get fixed. They get replaced. I'd like to replace this one with the original goddamn Constitution. Why bother reworking and redoing what some truly brilliant minds of the last millennia have conceived? Why don't we start there? Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't it just turn into this dumpster fire again?
Yes, yes, because that's what it is. That's what civilization is. It's what life is. It's what the turn of the sun and the earth are. Seasons, winter to spring, to summer to fall, to winter to spring. This is what it is. Young to old. I've gone through the whole fucking cycle. I'm 74. I know that goddamn cycle. I'm almost finished it. Life is cyclical. Government is cyclical. But what keeps us alive and thriving as people is at some critical mass of awakening. And that's not a spiritual word. It means, I don't know what percent of the population all suddenly see the same fucking thing. We go, whoa, the CIA controls America. Do you think we need a plan? No. We'll all be out in the streets. We will all be doing something. And governments and people in power being what they are, that is corrupt, self-serving, experiencing only one thing, that is manipulating the populace and taking money from their pocket and putting it in yours. That's who is leading. And those smart ones are going to go, motherfucking hell, it's over for us. Why don't we get in front of that charge? Because we see the people coming. Let's pretend we're one of them again. And let's continue. Others, I don't know, but it will be a damn sight better. And yes, in 300 years, it too will collapse. And God bless for future generations if they have the courage and the understanding that we have here today to fucking wake up and do one thing only. Tell your neighbor. That's good enough. Show your neighbor the truth, people, which is what I'm trying to do now with you.
Show the neighbor what truth specifically.
Pardon?
What truth specifically? Tell your neighbor what truth specifically.
Well, I think the biggest truth is that this entire charade of choosing a president and are paying attention to it and are getting behind it to such a degree that we fight one another in the street over who is going to drive the broken fucking car. Now, this is one truth that if even one of you woke up to the absolute truth of that, it would make my job half as more difficult. And then the next one, and the next one. Listen, if you're in a crowded fucking auditorium, and everybody's enthralled with the movie, and there's a fire in the back, and you're the only one that sees it, do you sit down and say, oh, honey, give me a sheet of paper, I've got to draw up a plan? No, you say, fire. When everybody sees it, is there a plan? Is there any know the exit signs, red flashing? We all goddamn leave. What we do next, I don't care, but we did not get burned alive. This is all I am hoping to do. Is for the next year, I'm going to yell fire from the national stage, maybe the international stage, until somebody stops looking at this fucking play of puppeteers and looks at the puppet masters. Then, look me, puppet masters will go away. They always do when the populace as one sees the truth and the deception of their leadership.
And I know we're short on time, so that leads us perfectly into cryptocurrency. How do you see crypto plays into this process?
It's the only reason I'm able to be on the stage. Because without cryptocurrency, we have a war that cannot be won. We've already stepped over financially with the Fed, with the power of the government behind it, with the subtle manipulation of the press, which has become almost a mouthpiece for the government, with the two-party system struggling and strangling one another and strangling the American public in the process of this. That's enough of a battle for even, when the movie theater was on fire and you yelled fire, it's like going out the exit and suddenly the whole fucking town is on fire. So, right, that's where we are without crypto. With crypto, we, for the first time, can take away the greatest tool of control that all governments have, and it is control over fiat currency. The person who controls the U.S. dollar is the owner of the dollar. Why? You can work your whole life and stash it away, and if the owner goes, "Woo, we need to inflate this motherfucker," then that's too bad. All of your hard-earned savings just evaporate with a stroke of a fucking pen, the person who owns your currency. But what if you owned the currency? And only that piece which is yours, and nobody could control it. No one could monitor how you spend it, where you got it, which they shouldn't in any case. Who gives a flying fuck how you make your money? It is yours. We are not policemen. It is not our job as developers, as entrepreneurs, as technologists, to create things and then diminish it and disable it by putting into it things which the government demands in order to catch criminals. So the people can't cheat on taxes or launder money. Well, fuck me, they're going to cheat on taxes and launder money. No matter what you do. Not my job. I'm not a cop. I'm a developer. And the things I develop and have developed in crypto have been fully for the people. McAfee DEX. There's no KYC. There's no AML. There's nothing. You don't get your name, your phone number, your email address, no documentation. You just come in and start fucking trading. And it can't ever be shut down because we created it on smart contracts on the blockchains. It'll never go away. So when the IRS finally does catch my ass, and the SEC is right behind it now, and they say, you broke the law, you did this thing, everybody's using it, and now criminals like Silk Road, criminals are using your thing. I'm going, well, I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about it. You can't shut me down unless you shut Silk Road down, because it's on the goddamn blockchain. And you, or God himself, can fucking change it. See, that's the power of the blockchain, that I myself have defied the most powerful government in the world and the most powerful regulatory body, the SEC, by using technology. It's the people's technology. For the first time in 100 years, a world-changing technology has arisen not from the bowels of a secret government program, but no, from the people themselves. A bunch of software engineers 11 years ago whipped this shit together and gave it to the world as open source code, which is here. Take this. And we have taken it and run with it, and we have created miraculous tools of freedom for people, like privacy coins, that if you use, like Monero, the government will never, ever know where your money came from and where it goddamn went, and why should they?
That was actually going to be my last question. It was I've said for 10 years now. I've said for 10 years now that crypto's primary market differentiator is its privacy capabilities, and if your coin isn't private, then you might as well use PayPal at this point.
Might as well. I agree fully. Listen. But
so I've been.
Coins.
Go ahead.
We have privacy coins now. Lots of them. And we have distributed exchanges. I've done the first one. Well, we're still in beta, okay? But by summer of next year, we'll be a full-blown, every coin in the world, tradable instantly on our exchange, anonymously. Imagine that achievement. And imagine that headache for the United States government. And unfortunately for many world governments, I'm probably going to have to hide in a hole, a cave in Antarctica, once everything unfolds, because I've pissed off a lot of government. I mean, I can't go back to Belize, America, the Bahamas, Cuba, now the Dominican Republic, and listen, the world's getting smaller for me. But I'm not going to shut up, and I'm not going to stop doing what I do, because that's what I do.
I could talk to you for literally another 3 hours, but this has been a fascinating interview. I hope we can do it again.
Listen, anytime. Just schedule through Janice. Listen, people are always dropping, I want to do this at 2 o'clock for God's sake. My brain is like water when it comes to schedules and numbers now. And so Janice, however, rock solid brain, and she will make sure I am here on fucking time.
She's been on point
again.
Yeah, she's been talking to me for several weeks getting this set up, so that's been awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks to Janice for her help getting this going.
And if you want to talk again, I'm serious. I enjoyed this. I can't do more than half an hour at a time. I do many of these a day. I try to give myself a half-hour break for my voice. But I'll do another half hour with you anytime. Just get it through Janice. Sorry.
Roger that. Awesome. Before we go, would you like to pimp any links or send people anywhere?
No, I wouldn't, but I would like to give people advice, and that is do what you love and nothing else. That applies to your work, your family, your love life, everything. Because listen, if more people did that, I would have a lot more fun, and so would all of you, I promise you. So, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, sir. I appreciate it. And the last thing I'll say to everybody here is that please join our Discord server, link in the description, to continue this discussion. And thanks to my wonderful Disenthrall supporters. I appreciate you. You make this show possible. Thank you again, Mr. McAfee. We will talk to you again soon. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.